half-hour sitcom and a lot of hour dramas. When I first came to L.A., I did almost, not exclusively, but I did a lot of sitcoms. And that's really cool because it's kind of, my theater background comes into play because there's a live audience. And it's, you know, I got a lot of those. And as I've gotten older, I still get some, but it feels that maybe I've got more gravitas or something in my soul. But as I've gotten older, I've been cast more and more in hour dramas as opposed to sitcoms.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know what? My favorite is anyone that's hired me and has me working there. You know, to be honest, but you know, yeah, I like the camaraderie of a sitcom because you're there all week. You're there all week, and you know you start with the read-through, and then you rehearse,
right.
and then maybe you grab lunch with the cast, or you don't, you know, and then you come back the next day. So you do that until tape day. So you're kind of there, and it's a two-edged sword because they're a family, right? And they're a well-oiled machine, particularly if it's been on for a while. And you're going to get dropped in the middle of it, and you can't be anything that, you know, clogs up the gears at all. That's
right.
One of the main goals coming into that situation. So, but depending on the cast, and I've rarely had any cast or sitcom person be anything but nice and welcoming. It's happened a couple of times. I won't name names.
Sure.
But so that's the real positive of the sitcom, and that you become more of a part of the group, if you will. And hour long, it's kind of, if you get a week on a show, it's kind of, it's great, and you feel a little bit that way, but not in the same way because you're out, when you're not just shooting your stuff. But with a sitcom, you're out there the whole time. You're watching. If you're not in the scene, you're watching it, or you're off stage ready for your entrance, and you're just, you know, really involved in it. In an hour, usually you're in your trailer,
right.
shooting something else, and you come out and shoot your thing, and you're only getting to know the series regulars that you're working with in the scenes, because the way they schedule it, you know, one series regular won't even be there that day because he's not been shooting. So I've been on shows where I've never met, you know, anybody but one person. And like I just did Criminal Minds recently. Actually, by the way, my Criminal Minds reruns tomorrow night.
Oh, look at that.
CBS, 9 p.m. I don't know when this... Are we live? I forget.
We are not live.
Okay, so if this goes out before tomorrow night, then fine. If not, I apologize for rambling about that. But that was one where I actually worked at... I had a bit of a scene with everybody on the show. So that was a little more, and I was there for a week, so that was kind of a little more, not sitcom-y, but, you know, I felt a little more of the group. It's not that I don't feel part of the group in an hour long, but, you know, the work is just different. You're there for usually a longer time.
Right.
But interacting with fewer people, you know, so those are the two, as far as just on a personal level as what Kevin enjoys going to. I like both, but those are the differences. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, you know, my favorite, I mean, I think almost every actor will tell you this, I mean, my favorite is to be in a play. Stage work is just always the most gratifying and challenging, and you talk about being part of a family, you know, every play you do, you're like, you know, you fall in love with everybody, and I used to joke my favorite part of doing a play is going out and having a drink and a meal at 11 o'clock at night. You know, but and then you're really close, and then, you know, we'll stay in touch. Yeah, I love you. Here's my name, and then, you know, sometimes you don't hear from each other.
Sometimes you don't hear from them anymore.
Yeah. Although I did a play a couple years ago in a small theater here, and it was a pretty tight-knit group, and we've all pretty much stayed together. Actually, a couple of actors your soap listeners may know. I worked with Rob Derringer, who...
Oh, wow. Okay.
Rob is in the play. He's on GH now, I think, in a recurring thing, and none of the soaps. And just a great guy. And then a guy named Nick Stabile, who actually produced and starred in the show, and Nick is now doing...
Nick is temporarily airing right now as Nicholas Cassadine on General
Yes,
Hospital.
yes, Nicholas Cassadine on GH, and he goes back, you know, he was on, that old time, Sunset Beach.
He was on Sunset Beach, yes, he was.
He did a stint on Passion, so great guy, I mean, great, really good actors, very nice guys, and both ridiculously handsome, so You got that.
And you had that going for them, so there's that.
Nick and I played brothers in this play. The play was called A Trip Back Down, and it was really really good production and pretty successful. But Nick and I played brothers, and I used to walk up to the God, man, it's like looking in a mirror, you and me. But nice men, and but that was a play. We did the play. We went across the street to this restaurant every night for after the show. So on several levels, I think the most fulfilling and most fun are doing a play. But you just somewhere somebody deemed you can't make any money doing theater, and it just doesn't get it doesn't get you the benefits that doing screen actors, SAG work, and things like that does.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, once you're if you're named, you can make a pretty good name. If your name's above the title on Broadway or whatever, or on a touring thing, you're probably making good money. But everybody else, it's just, I mean, it's good money. It's probably more than my dad ever made in a week. But yeah, it's all relative, I suppose.
Sure. And you were talking about reruns, re-airing, and it was funny. I actually just saw a post about your Friends episode just re-aired on TBS.
Yeah.
Where you were the bartender.
Yeah,
I'm kind of jealous you got to stand next to those two. By the way.
I know.
I am very envious of this man that he got to touch Lisa Kudrow and Jennifer Aniston. I am very, very, very envious.
Yeah, no, they're. I mean, they're just really cute. And that was actually pretty fun. Do you like anecdotes from shows? Want me to tell you stuff like that? I don't know if it's...
I do. I don't stop them when they tell me, so I was just kind of like, yeah, sure.
When I did Friends, I was playing the bartender and had several... I'd come in and give them drinks and had actually a couple of jokes that kind of got cut in the final edit. But, I had a few lines, and then there's another scene where Jennifer and Lisa are on the phone, cutting with a phone call with Paul Rudd and David Schwimmer.
Right.
And I just, no one told me where to be. I was just working the bar, and I just wanted Lisa to say, hey, I feel like I'm kind of shamelessly in this shot. Is that, should I get out of it? And she was saying, nobody's told anything. And I said, no. Be as shameless as you want. Just stay there. So I did. I put a lot of action in. I was, kept coming in and out, but I've got, several lines in the episode, but I'm most featured as the guy standing behind them when they're on the phone. I mean, it's most the scene's almost about what's going on with that bartender back there. No, but they were very nice, and it was just you just kind of looking around and going, okay, these 6 people are making $1 million a week. Look at that, God bless them.
God bless them indeed. Like, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know that struggle. I don't know that struggle.
Yeah, but yeah, that's rerunning all the time, obviously. So, just
on every single channel.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a couple episodes of Big Bang out there. So between those two shows, I've got something in syndication on cable somewhere, probably literally every day, maybe a couple times a day.
Absolutely.
Because I think TBS is almost the Big Bang network during the day, or it's just on all the time. It seems like
it is on all the time, and that is one of my favorite shows, and it's all the time. So
works out well.
If I'm not watching that, then I'm not watching really anything, I guess.
Well, it's a really good show, and obviously, and I'm not the only one who thinks that. It's a big hit, but once again, a really nice set to work on. Everybody was very cool. We're pretty friendly with Melissa Rausch, and we've stayed in touch since then.
Good.
But it was a good. Obviously, that was a sitcom, and that was fun to be on. I was there all week.
And is there any actors that you have not? I know this is like one of the hardest questions, but any actor you have not worked with that you would love to work with?
Oh, gee. I mean, as far as like actors I've admired and just
yeah.
to be in a scene with. I mean,
yes.
Dustin Hoffman's always been a favorite of mine over the years. And more modern people. I mean, I think it'd be a kick to work with George Clooney, because every time I've I've seen him speak, or I never really spent time with him, but I've events. He just seems so, he's so funny and it's just pretty simple. He's very genuine. He just seems like he'd be a fun guy to work with. So
he's very charismatic. Yeah. Can you imagine?
But also he kind of, I think he I don't know if he doesn't hate me. I used to joke, but I was on hold for a couple of George Clooney movies, and I didn't book either one. So. So there, George. You've had your chance to work with me.
You had your chance.
Didn't do it.
Dare you?
I think he'd be fun of young actors. I mean, I really. Oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank of some people. I think Edward Norton's a fantastic actor. I think he'd be interesting to work with. Might be a little scary to work with. I'm not sure. He's just popping into my head. Well, I actually I got to work in a very small capacity, but with Bryan Cranston in All the Way, the LBJ movie for HBO he recently did, and he's he's kind of an actor's actor, just a great guy, and so that was great to share the screen with him for a short while. My part's not huge, but it was a pretty cool project to be involved in. So that's another one. Brian, I can check Brian off the list. Those are the ones that come to mind. Notice I didn't come up with any women. That's Meryl Streep. I mean,
That's a given, though.
That really is a given. There's just not much that I don't like her in. I just think she's just so real and so good in everything she does.
Yeah.
And Charlize Theron, but for other reasons.
Understand.
Yeah, those are the ones that pop into mind offhand. I'm sure there's tons more that I'm just not thinking of offhand. Who do you think I should work with?
Oh, boy.
Who would you like to see me? Who would you like me to see me working with?
In the television sense,
Sure.
I'll start there. In the television sense, you already did Criminal Minds. I could, it's so funny. I would love to see you opposite, only because I watch this show a lot. I would love to see you opposite to Taraji P. Henson, for obvious reasons. But
I love her. When I saw Hustle and Flow, it's the first time I'd ever seen her, and I think I actually had a vote that year for the SAG Awards for the nominations. I marked her down immediately, because she's really good. She's a terrific actress, and seems really cool too. And it's just you base this on their interviews on TV or whatever, but she just seems to really know who she is and what she's doing, what she wants to get out of life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with that. I would love to work with her. She's pretty cool.
And I'm surprised you didn't say Morgan Freeman, because that's my go-to all the time.
Oh yeah, sure.
If the shoe were on the other foot and they asked me that question, he would have been number one for me. Morgan Freeman is just the man. I mean,
yeah.
Do people say the man? I don't know if they say that phrase anymore. I mean, they now talk about on fleek, but I don't know. I don't like fleek. So, so I say he's the man. Morgan is the man. So I would. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No. I didn't mean to leave him out. Of course, he's great. And he's one of the producers of Madam Secretary. I don't know if
he is.
Executive of that show.
I could totally see you on that show. Now that you mention it, because of what that show is about and what you can do opposite Téa Leoni and Tim Daly. I mean, you were our guest on Wings anyway.
Yeah,
so,
and I've done two. I've done two shows. I've done two of Téa's shows, sitcoms she did. She was on it. I think one of her first things was a show called Flying Blind.
I heard of that. Yeah, I heard of that.
Early UPN show maybe, or Fox. So I was on that show, and then I was on her show Naked Truth. So I've worked with her a couple times.
Okay.
But but also many moons ago. And Tim was just a delight on Wings. I did 4 episodes of Wings when I first came to LA. It was my first sitcom job, and they liked what I did and wrote me back like 3 more times. So it was really cool. And so that was another one. Sometimes I get asked, "What's your favorite thing you've done?" Sometimes that'll be my answer, just because there was that whole thing of me, being there for several weeks. Mm-hmm. Becoming part of the team, maybe I meet people in my life, apparently. No, so it's, that's a different, that was a really cool experience because, you're,